Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
And I'd like to say welcome to Bar Talk with Jay. I want to tell you brought to you by Dispose. This is a garbage company that I got them in. I will probably be one of the people to answer the phone that you call. You'll be able to hear me more than one time tonight. Right? Don't call this late though. But when you give a call, we will say to you, what do you desire? That's right. I want to make your dreams come true. So give us a call and we'll get that trash up out your place and where it need to be.
Yes, sir.
Now, getting off of that and getting back to the person who's been rocking with me since I started this bad boy, Craftmatic. How you doing, big baby?
I'm fabulous, man.
Man, you still glowing,
I'm
man.
Fabulous, man. Yeah, life is great.
2020
life is
gonna be a
great,
good year for
man.
you.
Life is great. You know what makes life so great lately is that I've been grinding so hard. You know, when you look back over your shoulder, you can just kind of see your work coming into play, and yeah, man, just excited about the future and enjoying my life now. You know, I'm living a different life than I lived a few months ago, and it's a great life, man.
So I get to dig and get some.
No, you don't.
Well, we might as well go to Barb then. Cut me all the way. Did y'all just feel that cut off?
This Miss Barb, how you doing, Miss Barb?
Barbara's doing fine. How are you all tonight?
I'm good.
Well, it's good to craft this stab that
Glad to have you in the building.
Back with
Jay, you gotta stop being so sensitive, man.
Yeah.
I know this,
now y'all
I know
want me
this
to
is
stop being
an
sensitive.
emotional show, but
Yeah.
man, damn, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, damn right.
It's perfect time to introduce ourselves.
Okay.
This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Obviously, pretty
This is
emotions.
Barb in the house, and we are here to simply liberate your minds, liberate your hearts with great dialogue. Tonight we're going to tackle a subject. And in the midst of discussing the subject and giving our opinions and our experiences, we hope that you can find yourself in the midst of our discussion and decide what you would do, how you would handle the situation, what you will do next. Maybe some parts of this will motivate you, some parts of this will liberate you, maybe some parts of this will give you guidance and intelligence, but we're hoping that it's a meaningful show. We put it together with just our heart and our spirits and our souls and just our desire to do something great in the world and to do something that's going to help people tomorrow, you know? This isn't something that pays off years from now. It pays off from the moment you make those decisions during this show. So we're really happy that you're here tonight, and we always start the show off with a prayer. And I don't know if you wanted to
I did the
open
early
the
one.
door.
I did the early one. I ain't doing that.
Okay.
Y'all tripped on me.
Any one-word subjects for prayer tonight?
Ooh. One word.
One word.
Develop.
Develop?
Develop.
Ooh, develop.
Yes, we wanted to hit them hard. We're gonna go below the belt. Let's get them to develop.
Develop.
Yes, develop.
Okay. Heavenly Father, I just come under your presence tonight. We come under your presence tonight, just thanking you for this awesome time together. We ask, Heavenly Father, that you would do a special anointing unto us. My friend Jay just asked for the word developed, and I don't know what it really means, but we're asking, Father, that you would show us the finish line. That you would show us, Father, a vision of ourselves being successful. That you would give us the spirit of victory. That you would give us the understanding that we are already ahead and never behind. And Heavenly Father, we ask that you would be in this place tonight to speak your perfect word. And we ask that you would do this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. If
Man.
y'all didn't feel that, I don't know what to tell you.
I had to cut myself off for real, man.
I pitched that. You knocked that out of the park.
Oh, man. I
They
was
didn't
on
know.
my way.
They thought we rehearsed that.
Yeah, I kind of got back to my real prayer life.
I see.
And I'm praying for an hour, 2 hours a day. And that may be extreme for a lot of people, but, you know, for me in my life, because I spend so much time alone,
Right.
that it's normal. And, man, I've been going so hard in the paint, just speaking and working with the Lord on some things. And it's just awestruck to be in his presence because all your answers are there. And for those of you who don't know the power of prayer, seek it. Go in your closet and just try it. Even if you don't know anything about it, you'll see remarkable results because there's a greater spirit that's awaiting our attention, and it's awaiting our request upon the universe. And we got to sit down and just start being more spiritual because this world is amounting to nothing. This world is going back into the nothingness from which it came. And so we're going to have to live by way of the Spirit. And no better place to start than right now in your life. So let's go ahead. I mean, I'll talk about that all night long.
All day long. I was just
go.
worried about that closet. 'Cause some people coming out that closet, I'm getting worried about them. A lot of people coming out of this ATA.
How you gonna take something so pure, man?
I mean,
Come
it
on,
was
man.
pure, but I purely see other things.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of these folks?
So we had a great show, as we always do, last week.
Okay.
Last week, the subject was, how do we open our hearts and love again?
Ooh. It was kind of hard to love the first time. You know, that hurt.
It was hard to love the first time, and then you loved and got hurt.
Oh, man.
And now you wondering if love will ever show up again. You're thinking about if love is for you, if you're got the patience to deal with what it takes to be in love. You're hurt, right? The notion here, how do we open our hearts and love again, is to say that we once loved, but that love has been lost or for whatever reason, and now we have to deal with some of the hurts, some of the pains, some of the ways that they treated us and talked to us. We have to let go of them and begin to focus on our future. And for me, that was one of the greatest statements that we made throughout that show. Was the best way to overcome a broken heart is to start focusing on your future.
That's right.
Turn away from yesterday and look at only tomorrow. And I promise you, as much fulfillment as you got out of yesterday, you can create in the right now and the tomorrow if you will just focus on tomorrow. You got to always find a way to look over your shoulders. Another great point we made. Look over your shoulder at what happened and find a way to be resolved about it. Find a way to overcome it so that it no longer plagues you. You know, you can find the gifts in it. If you hadn't have gone through that, you wouldn't know this, you wouldn't have done this, you wouldn't have this, etc., etc. That resolution in your spirit really calms your spirit. It calms your nerves, it calms your soul, and allows you rest in the present moment. And that's what we're all seeking, is perfect peace and perfect rest in the present moment. So, my notion is to just tell everybody, if you want love, don't give up on it. Don't give up on it. It's awaiting you, and you have to be open to it. It's probably not going to arrive like you think it should arrive. Love is probably going to arrive like the next bird that shows up on your back porch.
That thing was making all that noise. I didn't like that word.
It's going to be so abstract how it happens, but when it happens, it's going to be like the best thing that ever happened to you.
Very glad I had my
So we got to hope for love. If we lose hope in love, we almost say no to life.
No, I don't say no to life. I say no to a lot of other people.
We almost say no to life. I mean, you could have life without love of someone else, but it was put here for us to be in union with one another.
Oh, yeah, I like that union. I like that union.
There you go.
You said it. Okay. Saying Minecraft.
Yeah. Just don't give up. And keep fighting. It was a marvelous show. We'd love for you folks to go back and take a look at it. We're all over the internet, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts.
Keep going. Get off track, man. Go on ahead. Black back pages, POF, meet me. Hey, Facebook got one dating. Yeah, Facebook dating. I had a couple people hit me up on that bad boy.
Because I've been going back listening to so many shows, you throw it in all the time. But what people aren't realizing is that we are there. If you go to Meet Me and Offer Up and Create
everywhere,
you'll find Bar Talk with Jay.
So I am not lying.
Yeah.
I get it. I get around.
Again, I always say that's the genius in our marketing, is that he's got us everywhere.
That's right.
Very difficult to count our audience, but
I ain't saying that they.
But we need to be there. We absolutely need to be there. So check it out. Share with your friends. Like it. Subscribe. Do everything you can to help us share the good word. This is a positive word. Most people are sitting around listening to other people's fairy tales and stories and watching action movies and all kinds of stuff. Give them something wholesome. We consider this wholesome because it's just a simple dialogue between people who are just trying to make a difference. And you come here, you hear positivity, you hear love, and certainly you would want your friends and family members to hear positivity and love. right? So please share the word and help us get out because we're going to continue to do this. Really, it ain't going to even matter. We're just going to keep doing it.
All
Right?
across the globe.
We're just going to keep doing it. There we go. Our quote for today,
What we got?
Barb put this quote together.
Yes, she did.
And it is a very interesting one, as per usual. It goes like this: lies don't end relationships, the truth does. Because somewhere between love and hate lies confusion, misunderstanding, and desperate hope.
Boy, where you be getting this stuff from? You be reading some novels and stuff? I mean, they're going knee deep, girl. I mean,
Sometimes it comes from the heart.
is that what it is?
Sometimes.
Well, your heart need to pour out, write a book or something. You got a lot in you.
She come deep, though. She
You
just
read
not
that?
every week.
That right there.
She writes all of the
Profound.
quotes, folks. So
I give her mad credit because they be like, where y'all come out? Hey, that wasn't me.
I like the first statement though. Lies don't end relationships, the truth does.
I'm not gonna lie, when she first said that, I had a little problem because I had a couple relationships that I had to end over the lies. I guess the truth helped the lie reveal itself, or the truth helped me realize the lie, because the lie she told was her truth. The truth came out, and then that's what made me have problems with the things she was telling me, because perception is everything. And then all of a sudden I was being misled, because again, most people have a desire when they meet somebody, and then they push their desires, and they don't always give you honesty. Their truth can be tainted. They might not be telling it all because they have a desire. It's still a lie. Don't get me wrong, because they already know what they're really doing. And these are the things that cause a lot of people a lot of problems. But then you wonder if you can meet a person that's this truly truthful.
Can you meet a
up front.
person that is truthful?
I can tell you, yes, you can, but a lot of times they got to hold back, because I don't truthfully want to tell you everything.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to tell everything. Yeah,
I am to tell you.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that level of integrity.
Right.
We're talking about the integrity about just being honest people.
Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you about my past right now because I don't want you to know.
Yeah, that's
but
still young.
I'm not going to be lying to you about nonsense. Right? I'm not going to lie to you about where I was or what I was doing. You know, I'm not going to have
I tell you, but you might not want to know. What was you might not want to know. See, that's another thing. Why would you ask the person you already know kind of they out there they at, and you want to ask them a question? You was out late. What was you doing? Sometimes you set yourself up.
Well, what they really want to do, in the end, I think,
What's
is
that?
they want to see if you are man enough to tell them.
Oh, they listen. When they
Right?
get it, let me tell you,
They-
they ain't always
they
woman enough to take it. Because I'm telling you,
They're never,
truth is
they're
nasty.
never going to like it. They're never going to like the truth.
why not? You
Right?
asked for it.
But the question is, are you going to tell the truth?
Okay, when you get it, and it's been told the truth. I've been finding out myself.
The truth is a wonderful thing.
The
If you
truth, the truth set me free and got things thrown at me.
ever set you free.
Oh yes, it did. It set me all kinds of free.
Has any lies ever set you free?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Lies did so much better. It's so much easier than a lie, because I can control that situation. I manipulate the hell out of it. Listen, nothing happened when I told
Do
that
you
lie.
know that we're on a
Yeah, I'm telling the
When you
truth.
tell the truth, 'cause sometimes
Because
people
you
will
did-
believe a lie.
Yeah, they'll rather believe a lie than the truth.
They will take
I
that
tell
lie.
a lie, they'd be like right on it. They had no problem. Tell the truth, they'd be like, whatever. What you mean, whatever? You know you lying. So I took the time to tell the truth, to be told I'm lying. Yeah, because I don't believe you would do that. I mean, you went out there and did that. I've been there. I'm telling you, it happens.
Tonight we are talking about pimping, and I think that's
it's
exactly
different degrees.
No, that's pimping at its finest.
I'm just saying, different degrees of pimping.
If you wanted to hear a lie, I told you a lie. As long as I got out of it what I wanted. Is that pimping? Or is
What better person to ask than a person to pimp?
We got the expert in the house.
I mean, hold on. I ain't asked for a degree, player. You know, I ain't go to school for this. I had to learn this school of hard. Now I had to go back and learn some things. But it's not it's about pimping. It's about learning your behavior. I had a pimping-like behavior, but that was not really me. That wasn't my call.
That wasn't you?
That really wasn't my call.
You sure?
I kind of like some of the things I was doing. I ain't gonna lie and say I
You
ain't
know
like
you
some things.
did.
There's some things I still like.
Yeah.
But it's a behavior that I also don't really want to encourage.
Yeah.
Because I like to say it can lead so many negative things compared to the positive things. He has so much more for you compared to the things that I learned, and I thought that would take me to the greatest gift of what he has for me, and that's the biggest joke you can ever live. And that's through TV and living through somebody else and not understanding yourself. Because what he has for you is greater. It's going to give you more power and give you a better understanding. I was lost and had no understanding, calling myself a pimp, pimping what I didn't understand and thinking I was going somewhere.
Yeah.
Kind of an oxymoron, but I promise you, I watch other people do it more.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna just go ahead and bring this up right now. This is a major point. I'm hoping in our discussion tonight. Don't ever count out pimping.
I never count out.
Like pimping is a great thing. Like you know what I'm saying. Nobody ever made it without a little bit of pimping. You know what I mean? And we talking on a different perspective tonight. I don't want to talk about street pimp. I'm talking about making things happen.
Okay.
Right? Salespeople are the highest paid people in the world.
That's
you know
correct.
why? Because they make deals. Right? Making deals is the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The only people who get paid make deals. If you ain't making deals, you ain't getting paid. Period. So let's not count out pimping. Pimping makes a great difference. Now we're gonna millenniatize it tonight.
Okay.
You know, but it is certainly a great subject to make sure that we cover, because either you're pimping or you're getting pimped. One of the two. And I think we're about to put on a show tonight that's gonna help us wake us all up a little bit to what it looks like
You should have told
to
me.
pimp and be pimped.
I would put my pimp suit on. Oh, Lord.
We are just about ready to go to break, so I've just about given you the whole topic for tonight.
Yes, you
But it
did.
goes like this. Who's pimping who? It seems like just about everybody is running game.
Right.
How do we deal with this? How do you protect yourself from the game? Because you're going to be a pawn or you're going to be a king. And, this is going to be a different discussion. I'm not even quite sure where it's going to go. But I know that there are, I may say the difference between the haves and the have-nots is the intellect of pimping. And we all have to get on. That's why we got to all be on our grind, right? We got to all be out. The word pimping has a bad connotation. It has a connotation of sex. It's a word from sex, from a sexual world and selling sex. And even though you may not want to be called that, that you need to engage in those types of activities. That means you should have a product.
Oh, my bad. Whoops. I'm right there with you, bro.
I'm gonna give you a monologue in a little bit. That's what I'm gonna do. You just go on in the page. How you do?
You know how I do, man. I'm sorry. I'm with you, though.
So, tonight, here it is once again, and then we're gonna take our first break. Who's pimping who? It seems like just about everybody is running game. How do we deal with people running game? We're gonna take our first break. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. Been doing this for a very long time. Y'all don't understand where this Minecraft gonna get y'all. Just keep staying tuned. I'm about to tell you, we're gonna blow the world away. Minecraft, yeah, man. Can I take a moment for that, man?
Why can't you?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, okay. Folks, I'd like to introduce you. I think this may be my first introduction.
Never your first, and not your last.
I'd like to introduce you to my new project. It's called Minecraft, and Minecraft is a whole set of talks that give you a better understanding of life. And life has several components to it, and if we don't understand those components, then we're always kind of slipping and sliding. We're always about unsure of today. We're unsure of tomorrow. And so I put together a set of talks. They're small talks, 6, 7, 8 minute talks, and what they are designed to do is to elevate you in consciousness. And so from the time you start listening to the program to the time you get to the end, you're going to make some very clear decisions, real conscious decisions about how you're going to improve your life. And it's just such a dynamic program. I'm so proud of this work. I've been waiting my entire life to do this kind of work. And I hope you folks will enjoy it. I hope it's going to be a meaningful part of your life. I'm hoping I can create something that, every other week you might need some healing in your mind on a certain area, and you'll come back to Minecraft and listen to that program over. It'll keep reminding you of probably what you already may know, perhaps what you may have forgotten, which is that you are already perfect, whole, and complete. And all you have to do is apply yourself, and your life will just blossom like a rose. But oftentimes we have so many fears and so many challenges on the inside of us, we can't blossom. And so the program is ultimately designed to help you get yourself out of the way, because your mind and your heart and your spirit and your soul already know how to make you successful.
Right.
But you keep getting in the way. And so it's just going to be, it's just my baby. It's my baby. So I hope you enjoy it, and I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to share it, Jay. It's going to be, I think it's going to be dynamic, man. I think it's going to be dynamic.
Appreciation is mine, because again, one of the things that people don't understand, when Bar Talk with Jay came out and poured out, coming to the bar, it's not the alcohol that I was worried about. It's the fact that people ain't going to church and they don't know where to go.
Yes.
So a lot of times they turn themselves to the bar.
Yes.
And it's different than barbershop talk, because you just getting groomed.
Yes.
But when it comes to going to a bar, a lot of times people going through things, and sometimes people just want to go from other places, but they want to talk about things they're going through. So to be able to talk about it is one thing, but to have a guidance to help you through it is something that I would love to be able to tell you that we want to complete.
Yes.
I want to make a unity circle. Where I started with Bar Talk, we started talking about it for the last 3 years, and I want y'all to continue pouring it out with me, but now I want to add value to how to get you better.
You know what, Jay?
I don't want the same.
Over 20 years ago, when I started putting this vision together, I did a PowerPoint presentation. And in the midst of the presentation, the question that I asked is, when people want to go get help, when people need direction and understanding and wisdom, where do they go? You can go to the church, you can go to your parents, you can go to an educational system, a school, maybe you see a psychologist, but maybe you read a book, maybe you watch a video, but there's no place for you to get real help. And that's why I brought this Minecraft to the table. This is going to be real help. I'm bringing this to the surface of your mind and your life, which the issues that you're dealing with tomorrow, this is going to help you get through those issues tomorrow. And, we got to find a way to heal. We're not healing. There's not enough healing going on. There's plenty of time, but there's not much effort or intelligence on healing and healing ourselves from old wounds and hurts. Believe me, if you are 20, 18, 19, 20, you start a business and your business get to moving pretty good, and then the bottom fall out, and you have to go through shame and regret and debt, and you have to have your family members who helped you out and loaned you money look at you sideways, and you've been in a hurdle, you've been in a struggle, you've been through some hard times. It's difficult to get up from those things. And your entire life's potential is resting on the fact of whether you get up or not. We got to find a way to get up. We got to find a way to get back up over and over and over again. A good man shall fall 77 times, and every time he gets up. That's the difference between those who finish the race and those who don't. Those who finish the race have always fallen, but they gotten back up more than everybody else, right? So, man, we're going to go ahead and chime in to our subject for tonight. You got some commentary there?
Man, the only thing I can tell you is how you brung that is exactly how I wanted to envision the complete of the circle.
Yeah.
And again, that's why we dress alike tonight. This is my brother from a different mother.
Right.
And again, a lot of times you look for family to complete you. Life is going to bring you people that can help you. Understand where you're going through and where you're going, and then you can get understanding of a blessing. I've been blessed in my house right now with a bunch of people that come together because of the fact they want to.
Yes.
I don't have to ask crazy Adrian to show up.
Right.
She show up.
Right.
Boo, he's just dedicated. He's an honorable person.
Yeah.
Rock, if he didn't show up, that means he moved out. I've been waiting on it. It's coming. It's coming, y'all. Y'all can say what you want. I'm going to speak it to existence.
Right.
Craftmatic, I don't ever have to wonder where he going to be. He always just show up. Barbara comes from Macon, Georgia,
Yes.
2 hours away.
Yeah.
When she don't make it, it's because she got obligations, she got other things, but she's in the script.
Yeah.
And one of the things she always do is give inspiration.
Yeah.
When you get a powerful group of people together like this, you have to be humble, and I have to say thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I
Yeah.
gotta say thank you because
Thank you.
I enjoy and love being around caring people. Y'all make me want to have love in my life again because I feel the care. I always had care. Everybody just pushed on love. But if you get back to the basic, you gotta care first. And when I see other people care, it gets me back to a caring notion. And then I can do more. And then I feel rejoiced in what I do compared to feeling used. And that's how I get pimped.
Okay.
But I got something to give,
Okay.
not take. And I ain't trying to sell somebody.
There you go.
I'm trying to
There you
give
go.
myself. Now I can go
There you
sell
go.
a bit and sell a little bit if you really want a little bit. If you keep. Oh, I got a little tangent again.
Yeah.
Anyway, I meant good. My bad. I'm out. All right, Greg, what we got, man? What we talking about? Get out of it, man.
All right, let's just take a few minutes. We're down to probably about 7 to 8 minutes,
Yeah, we're talking about
maybe 9
pimping.
minutes before we go to break. The topic for tonight is who's pimping who. It seems like just about everybody is running game. How do we deal with this?
Wow.
Let's talk about pimping and running game just a little bit.
I'm right there for you.
What comes to your mind, Jay?
Well, coming to my mind is the things that was played to me. One of the things you got to recognize is when you meet somebody, you talk to somebody, always listen to what do they always ask? Before they ask you how you doing, this, that, the other. That's just a punchline. It don't take people long now. They'll tell you, my car broke down. Can you help me? Now, I don't know if your car broke down or not. I don't even know you.
Right.
But most caring people be like, well, dog, I don't do I need to give you a ride. Now, this is how you can peep game real quick. If they don't know you, they ain't quick to have you go nowhere. No, just cash at me some money or this. See, recognized game is easy to be done once you understand what people do. If somebody say, give me half or something up front, you ain't did nothing. You better not expect them to finish anything.
Right.
But again, they do it all the time. Recognize people's habits need to be talked about because people gonna run game as long as you allow them. Because again, if I'm really hurting and I'm saying something and you asking me for something and I'm saying, well, I can give it to you in another way and they ain't trying to hear that, then they already run a game because I will accept a hand of help regardless of how you trying to hand it to me if it's something that can aid me. I've aided many people, but I'm listening what they're saying to me, how they want it. Okay? It ain't how I was trying to give it, but I gave a person $1. He looked at my car and said, well, give me some of that change. Oh, you need to get on going. Because see, now you done changed my whole attitude to
Right.
$1. And it's not about I make so much I don't care to give. My whole thing is I don't feel like I'm supposed to turn my face to anyone. So I gave the $1 because he just walked up. You know, I'm gonna give you $1. Okay? I'm already on the phone trying to handle business. Like you said, pimping handles deals. I'm trying to close a deal. You in my way. I'm gonna give you $1 to get out my way because I got $1 million deal on my phone.
And let's talk a little bit about that now.
Which one's up?
You gave him $1.
I gave $1.
And after you gave him $1, he looked down and saw you had some more money, and he
Right there.
he
See
asked you
change,
for
a
it.
whole thing of change right there. See, can I get some of that change? You got $1 already in your hand. You didn't even
And how
work
did
for
that
it.
make you feel right there when he asked for
Roll the window up.
it? Right. That made you
Roll the
want.
window. 'Cause
That made you want to fire him right away.
Didn't hire him. Wouldn't hire him. I don't need nothing that ain't aiding.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is I don't turn my back and my face on anyone because I don't know what God brings my way. So he came up to me and the gift was $1 because of who I believe in.
Yeah.
Not because of how he came. You know, he could have came with a sign
But
something
here-
for a beer. I gave you the $1. But then when you say, well, can I get, or see, now I'm going to give you me. Now, the real me is now you showed me.
So what happened in that transition? That's what I'm trying to get to.
He showed me himself. He showed me that you just trying to take. You want more, but you ain't trying to do anything I can just give. That I want all you can give. The more change you give me, the less I have to beg the next person. I don't know it's going to be less. All I know is you take it from a person that works for it. Ain't nothing handed to me.
Yeah,
but I'm giving to you, and you just want to walk your behind off and do whatever you want because you don't want to go to. I'm working. I'm on the phone. As I drive, I'm constantly on my grind. So pimping knows understanding of pimping. Pimping, I'm constantly working. It's not nothing different than me going to a 9 to 5. I got to think of a 9 to 5 all the time. I got to figure out how to make it when I'm in my sleep. To be successful, I'm not really sleeping. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming a vision that I want to be reality. So when they sitting here telling me about give, I've been giving. So to give a little, I don't mind. But if I keep giving, it takes me away from my whole passion and my purpose of what I am envisioning.
I want to slow down just a little bit, right? You move 1,000 miles an hour. That when you give somebody something, and they have the liberty, or the gumption, or the nerves to ask you for more, it kind of shows that they're ingrateful. They're ungrateful, unappreciative.
Correct.
They, in some way, are now maybe thinking that you're soft, that they can get more out of you. And, you know, one of the great notions, especially in sales, is that you'll never get the order unless you ask for it. Right? But at a certain point of asking for it, you got to realize that the last no meant no. And that if you keep asking, they're going to turn their back on you altogether. You have to learn not to over ask anytime you're fishing for yeses. Right? If somebody gives me something, if I can, you know, I've been in this place before, somebody give you something, maybe give you, $10 or $100 or whatever, and you can see they pulling from a roll of hundreds. You know what I'm saying? $100 ain't gonna do much for you, but you looking at that stack like, damn, right? You know, just put a stack on me real quick. You can't ask for it. You shouldn't ask for it unless there's just dire straits. There's not sometimes we're talking about respect here a little bit, and the other half of it we're talking about really being grateful when people give you something. You ruin the basket if you go and ask for more, you know. But those people, a lot of those people in those situations, you know, in the homeless situation, they're in dire straits. You know, they're needy. They're not like everybody else. You know, they got a situation going on, and they might have to pimp and hustle a little bit in order to get ahead.
I can be the next person that's sitting there, so I respect it because I understand the game. But remember, this is about pimping and understand the game because I understand how the game is written. Because my whole thing is, if I'll come up to you and you give me something, I'm gonna give you appreciation back for what you gave, regardless if it might not be enough of what I might need in my head. That person didn't have to give it.
Right, he didn't.
So I automatically understand game. So
that's my mentality.
And this is the thing to me. If I gave you $1 and you tell me, you know something, God bless you, and you walk away, I might just stop and turn around and empty my wallet.
I've done it many a time.
Because you don't understand the power of me knowing I need to give. I just know who I need to give to. And people that don't treat me right is not somebody I'm going to do that to. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. You give me bad service. You give me attitude. I promise you might be hard down on your luck. I can't look at you. You're not right. I can't give to what I really feel is not really deserving. You ain't showing me no gratitude for what I'm willing to do after I bust my behind.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to do regardless of your hardship of you going through. I feel like everybody needs somebody.
Yeah.
But when I'm willing to do, and I'm gonna tell you, if somebody asks me for $10, I'd rather just give them a $5. I got the 10. I'll give you the $5. I want to see if you're appreciative of half of what you want. For I might go around and give you the rest of what you. I need to see how you are, because everybody wants something. Are you willing to work for the rest? If you ain't willing to do nothing, I promise you, I've gave my kids half the stuff they asked for, and I promise you, it didn't make them into the person I thought they would be. You got to stop all that and realize they have to grow on their own. You can't control or dictate everybody's life, but what you can do is control what you can do by respecting, understanding, and not always reaching.
Yeah.
I used to reach in my pocket thinking it was helping.
Yeah.
Now I don't reach as much. I reach but it's showing me who I'm really giving it to. Because everybody I gave to that was respectful and living and learning and growing came back to me. Everybody that was using ain't thinking about me.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing about life. From your own to others. That's why most people don't care to give.
Yeah.
I do not believe in that. I believe in respect people that do give and then give back. Even if you can't pay it all the way, talk to them, tell them. But the number one thing I noticed, and this is pimping on pimping, most people I help only come back when they need help again. So I never helped in the first place.
So the question in that equation is, who's pimping who?
I got pimped in.
Right? Yeah. And
But
that's how it makes you feel. And so if they come back, you're gonna be like, hey, I can't help you because you pimped me. You know,
So-
then you didn't even call and say hello, you know.
But
during
if
the
you give me a
holiday or
little bit more, I'll make sure I come back this time. Now that's
right,
pimping
right.
on top of the pimping.
Yeah.
Nah, we need to stop that because that's running game, and that's what people do.
Yeah, and that's what people do, and it's sad sometimes, but and we're going to continue to talk about this. We folks, it's time for us to take our next break. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay. One thing I want to make sure I tell you about the upcoming things with Minecraft, because again, a lot of times y'all want to know where Bar Talk with Jay is going. We got another thing coming. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna come up in commercials early. Y'all gonna see it in February. Minecraft is my man Craftmatic next to me completing a mission of mine. And again, it's his. But one of the things I want to do is make a completion of Bar Talk with Jay to complete your mind. Because again, we can talk about our problems, but if we can't solve them, why are we talking about it?
That's a great point, Jay.
I don't want rhetoric because that's where it starts. I mean, we love to play with things and everybody want to talk about things, but how do you fix things? Well, I want to get back to the fix things.
Yes.
Because all we want to do now is talk about things, and everybody ain't coming to the table with solutions. They're coming with problems. Everybody know without a solution, all you got is a table full of rhetoric.
And I'm going to tell you, folks, believe it or not, all the solutions that you need are in your mind. You have access to so much potential in your life. You just do not know at how incredible and how powerful the mind is. Jesus taught us, but some of us didn't want to see it in his light and in his way and his example. He taught us the power of mind. And we have to begin to understand the mind so that we can begin to greater influence our own spirits. In times of turmoil, what do? You go within. And you strengthen yourself from within. And I'm telling you, we got to learn how to use this highly effective computer. It's 1,000% more effective than we have ever used it. We got to start using it and seek miracles and seek miraculous events in our lives.
Yes.
You know, the Lord and the power of the Spirit can change anything overnight, just like that. And you have to begin to believe those things. At least try to believe them, and you'll see the manifestation of them, right? So, we're talking about who's pimping who. It seems like just about everybody is running game nowadays.
Yeah.
How do you deal with this? Jay and I had a sidebar during the break, and I want to ask the question simply for those of you who are listening to this show. I'm interested in you going to a higher level.
Right.
I'm interested in you making more money. Having a higher position, being able to utilize your gifts and your intelligence to promote growth in your family. So the question is this: how long do you plan on working for somebody else?
Oh, Lord. You throwing daggers again. All right.
We know you got so much more potential. We know you have the potential to run your own business, your own company, have your own thing. You have all the potential. You got everything necessary. What is stopping you from being pimped? From getting over being pimped.
You got to remember, there's a couple things that plagues you.
Yeah.
One of the things I'll tell you is when I went to school and they had vocations, electronics, auto mechanics, even had home ec back then, driver's ed. They had you prepared to go to work.
They had you prepared to go to work.
So when you got out of school, I was up in Ohio back then, you had the Rubber Capital, GM, they had a couple of different plants, Goodyear. So you had the rubber tire of the world back in Akron. So a lot of people went straight to the plant. And that's kind of how they kind of groomed you when you went through school. Mm-hmm. Now school got you prepared to go to college. They don't even care if you get your driver license because bottom line, first year in most colleges, you ain't allowed to drive.
Right.
So again, these are the different things of changes. They ain't doing home ec. They don't care if you know how to cook or not. You can do Uber Eat, okay? I don't care for somebody to drive me some food because you still got to pay them to do this. So my whole thing is get your mind right. So again, when you start working, you already got that mentality that most times you meet somebody that has a good job and they tell you about a good job.
A good job.
I got that job because somebody told me about that job and I know it paid good. I don't know if that's really for me. I just know they paid good. Got that job. Didn't really like it, but I got paid well. And then I started finding interest. Now, one of the things nobody taught me about having my own, but I know about interest in myself. I know about how I like to be treated. So certain jobs, I didn't like how I was being treated. I didn't always like the pay. I can't always change what I did not control or make. But what I can do is find something better. So I found a better job. So finally, I found something that worked for me.
Yeah.
Then when it worked for me, I realized I still wasn't content.
Tell me how you felt when you were in corporate America.
Now, when I was in corporate America, I'm going to be honest, they did good by me because of the things I did for them. Don't ever get it twisted.
They made you feel comfortable.
They made me feel comfortable because of what I brought them. Don't get me wrong now. I ran an organization that was making $1 million a month. I was probably doing about $80,000 a year. So I'm seeing the numbers and the stats, and they were taking me places. I was able to go places. Like they treated me well. But to me, I always wanted to do more just because I was able to see the potential of what they were doing. I felt that I had enough in me that I could do the same thing. I didn't have the opportunity to present to them, to give them the opportunity to open things up to me. I didn't always speak it or I didn't see it. But what I did notice, my company would buy a corporation out or buy a business out. And when they buy them out, they'll come on and they'll get a high position. So some of them made more money than people that went up the ladder. So I'm looking at people like me that went from the ground up. I started in residential, went to roll-off, went to front level, supervisor, operational manager, and was about to go take the next step to the DM. And I'm watching them being stressed out, but yet I watched them buy a company out, and they got $1 million something for their company. They come in as directors, VPs, and they still got their money from the business, and they get more. So it's like, okay, so how that person, a VP, and he makes that much, and this one over here makes a whole lot less, because that one over there probably worked his way through the ranks, okay? Mm-hmm. And his working through the ranks is going to be one level compared to this person because he started his own. And then when he got bought out, he got that residual, and then he still get interest. So now his pay reflects where he came from. It's higher. So it's like, yo, I've been doing this. Yeah. I'm feeling pimp now. I work all my way up, and all I can get is this, and I work. So you already knew. After a while, I said, you know something? I want to start my own. Then your fears is another thing that hinders you.
Yeah.
The fear of I will tell you, it is very costly, and it's a lot of work. But then I got to look at the dedication of what I was already putting in. I don't quit anything. If you look not at just relationships, but do you look at what you do? How many times have you actually walked away from responsibility? I walked away from jobs that I know wasn't no good. I had a job that I worked for 4 days.
That's good.
They showed me a salary that I just could not do. So what I did is I had a meeting with them 4 days after they hired me, and they told me what they was gonna pay me. And I sat down with that DM, and I said the best I can do is give you an evaluation of your organization that I seen for them 4 days. For that 4 days of pay that you gonna give me, because I am not
Because
gonna take with you.
because you felt like they were pimping you.
No.
At that
They
office.
thought they was gonna pimp me. No, that day.
On that
I
office.
got them.
Get to the point. Get to the point. You felt like they were fixing to try and take advantage of
Yes, it wasn't even to take advantage. That was just straight adultery.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
They was about to have sex with me. This wasn't right. I seen a number I ain't seen in 15 years of this industry. He told me, well, it's a good chance I can get you a raise and some, and I like game.
He started making.
And he gave me game.
Absolutely.
My whole thing is understand worth. I knew I was worth way more than what he was showing me. Now, if I went on ahead and signed saying, well, and I already knew God had something for me.
Listen, I think you.
And he helped show me that I had something in me, because I promise you, even when I walked away, another door opened. But the whole thing is, people get scared. I gotta take something, and that's what people take advantage of. But do you understand what you're getting?
Yeah, listen,
I am
think
not
there's
selling that low.
I think there is a great point, the greatest point that we've made thus far. Jay just made it. I think again we're talking about who's pimping who, right? Some it seems like just about everybody is running game. And a great point to make in that equation is you have to understand your worth. If you are worth more than they are paying you, you got to get up and go look for some opportunities to get more out of the equation. You know your worth, and many of you know your worth, but you've been sitting still for 10 years. You've been sitting still for 15 years. You've just been lounging on, hey, let me just wait until, this happens or that happens. You're waiting for something great to happen. You could be making 20 or 30% more money than you're making right now. You could be making, if you decide to do entrepreneurship, you can double your income in the first year. But instead, we sit on the seat of safety and allow ourselves to sometimes get taken advantage of. We know that we've been passed over for that promotion several times. And we still sit still and we try to wait maybe for the next new vice president to come in and take a liking to you and give you an opportunity. And, it's 3 years later and he's gone, and you try to get the next one to give you an opportunity. And you never really take full advantage of your worth. And in those scenarios, you are allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. We're calling it pimped here tonight.
All day long.
And there's enough of that. I'm wanting to inspire somebody to say, hey, I'm worth more than that, and to go seek it.
Okay.
It will always find you if you go and seek it. But if you sit still, lounging in your fears, so to speak, or your apathy, it's not going to come to life. I have met so many extremely talented, hands-on workers. I used to spend a lot of time with the city of Orlando and the city of Tampa, and the wastewater management treatment plants. And those guys, they are so skillful. They come to work. They work hard. Any of them could start businesses outside of it. And many of them just really kind of lounge on the secured pay rather than stepping out to make something happen. Again, you got to make something happen, not necessarily just quit your job and go make something happen, but at least start 1 or 2 projects outside of work where you can get some after hours income, some after hours experience. You can build your resume. Stop allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. And I think that's the greatest point that we're trying to make here. And I want to give kind of a 40,000 foot look at this equation in the next segment. And then at the same time, I want to take a look at the ground floor, right? Because getting pimped is, oftentimes catching people in lies. And, on the other side of the equation, at the 40,000 foot level, pimped is that, I'll say it this way, this is kind of a dog-eat-dog world. And only the strong survive. And those who are most knowledgeable have the greatest advantages. And we have to learn to operate in higher levels of intelligence. And we're going to cover more about that whenever we come back. Go ahead.
Before we go, one of the things I said earlier, I said they're about to commit adultery on me. Nobody even caught why I said adultery. Adultery means I am about to be married to that company. I am about to give you a contract where we are bonded. And you going to cheat on me by not paying me.
Right.
Now that's the sadness of reality that you have to understand. It's almost like a covenant. When you go to these places, you work for a job for 30 years. They should take care of you the rest of your life, as far as I'm concerned, because you're pouring totally in.
Absolutely.
Now, you got 401ks, you got pensions being cut, you got a whole lot of things that's just about them, not always about you. So my whole thing is, you got to understand, you can't change a lot of stuff that goes on around you. But if you want to make change, you can start your own, and then you can create something better than what you've seen.
There you go.
And I'm going to tell you more about what we doing over here at Dispose, because I didn't like what big corporations are doing, and see if it fits you, and then maybe you'll call me.
All right.
But we'll find out when we get back. That's all I'm saying. Pimping on pimping, pimping.
We'll be right back, right after this. Back. More Bar Talk with Jay. Woo, man. That last segment, man, was
you was on something.
kind of unique, man. I'm all about entrepreneurship, and I'm all about taking advantage of every opportunity, particularly the best opportunities. But I think we got a lot of people who they just rest on their laurels, and they don't mind being taken advantage of a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And that is not the way to get ahead in life. There are people who are coming up on you.
Sharks.
They're coming up on you, and they'll pay you minimal, and they'll make all the profits. And it's not to say that there's not a time to work for somebody. Maybe to some degree you might need a boss, because you might not do what you're supposed to do if you were an entrepreneur. And I can understand those scenarios. But we're talking about trying to get ahead. Who's pimping who? Everybody's running game, and unfortunately, you're the pawn. If you just decide to just go to work for 30 years, because they're gonna get every ounce of energy, effort, intelligence that they can possibly get out of you. And there are many people have proven that as loyal as you have been to those companies, they're not going to be loyal to you when it's time for a separation. And so you got to begin to take care of yourself, and that's what unions were all about. Being able to protect yourself in a work environment. But if you know that you are being taken advantage of in those situations, I'm just encouraging you to get up and go look for something better. There is something better. There absolutely is something better waiting for you, and so I'm encouraging you to go and look at it. Let's flip the script just a little bit.
Which way you want to flip it?
And talk about who's pimping who in relationships.
Oh yeah.
And what does that look like when you first think about that, Jay? What does that look like? Is that
who getting over on who?
Who getting over on who?
I mean,
and there's a lot of getting over in relationships. There's a lot of getting over. That's why so many breakups. Right? I think
you always the one got to come over. You the one always spending. You might feel like you getting pimped in that deal.
Yeah.
And again, it might, it's also, is that how you came at it? Some people act like they balling. Okay?
Uh-huh.
You can't always go and be throwing money and doing things,
right,
and then be like, yeah, that's a gold digger. No, you just a fool that she played. So, yeah, she pimped you because of what you did. You did that to yourself. So, I don't like talking about all folks. I just know how games should be recognized. Take the time to listen to what a person is saying. Look where they're going. That's what everybody been saying since day one.
Yeah.
But you have your own desires, so you're not really looking at that.
Yeah.
It's just getting close to what I want. So I hear women tell men what they want.
Well,
Don't ever tell me this what you want.
Yeah, see, there's.
I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna play it to the. Cause one, I didn't ask. I didn't ask, right? They just said, I like a man to do this for me. And I had one tell me, I like a man to meet me for the first time, bring me some flowers. I was like, I ain't even into flowers. They die. I ain't even. But what did he do? I mean, he brought me some flowers and what else? I mean, it just turned me all the way off. For real. Hey, I went and bought the biggest thing of flowers. I walk up in there. She came. She was like, "Oh, look at it." She all turned on. I mean, I knew them flowers gonna be dead as hell in about 2 weeks, but I ain't care because I knew she said flowers turn her on.
So
listen,
who pimped who?
We worked each other that day. Because her was happy and she made me happy.
Wow,
and listen, we pimped each other
You pimped
all
each other.
through that night. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't no Netflix, no TV didn't come on there.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I tell everybody all day, I listened and I attacked. It worked out well for me. I don't know about for you. So again, understand game, understand reality. My whole thing is you don't know who's gonna do what. I just pay attention. Some people will tell you everything you need to know. The saddest thing is if that ain't what you really want to be with, they telling you a script to easily win them over, and they'll never know you. They will never know you. I wouldn't tell nobody something. I want to see you for you. If I tell you about what somebody else did, you gonna repeat an action that I ain't with them no more. That don't make no sense. Be the best you. Be you, and then we can figure out where we at. But I'm giving real game compared to the game that was given. Most people want to ask me where I've been with, well, what your ex-wife did to make you get rid of her. First of all, what we went through was a long-term deal. I just met you.
Yeah.
That's too much damn information that you might think.
You're telling her off right now. We don't have to tell her.
You're going even real. It's just, you're coming asking for stuff that you don't need.
Yeah,
but they know it. They know it.
She ain't asking no more though.
Man, she need.
Calm down,
She
man.
need.
Damn.
I got my feelings. Got in my
I
place.
see, man. You was on the road there, man.
You know how I do.
Let me see if I can bring us back in the tunnel.
I was there.
I
thought.
Who pimping who in relationships?
Halftime is me.
Think about you ever seen a real ugly celebrity, male celebrity with a beautiful blonde on his arm? Yeah. You know, you ask yourself the question, who's pimping who in that scenario, right? And I would imagine everybody is getting a little bit of what they want, which I guess, you know, you give, you get in the scheme of life, right?
It's called a deal.
But it seems to be this this phenomena in the world going around, and I don't know if it's a phenomena, but it just seems like a lot of women have attitudes that men are supposed to do certain things for them.
I heard that.
And they oftentimes are looking for money. They're looking for prosperous men. They're looking for men who can take them somewhere and do some stuff for them.
Brings them to the table.
And when you get involved with somebody like that, you know, they start showing pretty early that they have expectations for you to do this, that, and the other. And I think most men, or grown men, have experienced that. And you know, some battles you don't want to fight. Some battles, you know, you lose if you fight, right? Sometimes you spend the money and you just go ahead and get what you need out of the equation. But tell me a little bit, Jay, about women's expectations about money. You know, what's going on in the world with that? Should we men be a little afraid of that, or should we be just mindful of the game, or you know what's going on with that?
I like to say one thing. I can never speak for another man. I never know what another person really wants.
For you.
But for me, and one of the things I can tell you is, not a person that's just needy or greedy, but a person that's understanding. I understand everybody's not going to be on the same level, or somebody can be in a higher level. I'm not expecting them to throw money at me, and I shouldn't be throwing money at them. My whole thing is understanding of each other, but we can find out how we mesh. We throw money out there as a lure. It's a bait, okay? That's why game is being thrown. So if a person come to me and is like, well, dang, Jay, how much money you need? See, you're luring me. You're luring me. First of all, why would you ask me? Right. But you want to see if I even throw something out there. My whole thing is, why are you even trying to bait me? And half the time, you can't even help me.
She's trying to bait you.
That's all that is. That's a bait. Oh, Jay, you got a
out.
nice little show going on and all this. Would you need something to help it go further? No, you just baited. Now, again, if a person is in desperate need, be like, oh yeah, I need. So now you talking, thinking you talking business. No, you just got baited into a trap because game recognized game. Now I know you kind of need something, so knowing she ain't in no position to help. But I know some people, and I get some conversation going while he thinking I can be, getting over or whatever. Everybody have their own desire.
Riding that 745.
Yeah, well, yeah, riding around in it, but they can't help contribute to it.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants to ride. Everybody don't want to contribute. I sat and played with people all the time.
Yeah.
My whole thing is get back. Quit talking that way and talk about where you're going. Your drive should be the focus of a conversation, and it ain't. Normally, it's about what your drive can bring to me. Pimping, understand pimping.
Okay.
When you keep bringing up money, I understand what this is about. But if I'm looking for a long-term person, I'm not looking for a person that's looking to just get over it. I'm looking for a person that can contribute to it.
Right.
And that's not always what you get, because most people are going to say, I don't think you're going to be talking to me long anyway. So get all you can get. That's what most people say. Get what you can get on the upfront. Girl, you better get all you can. Okay, that's a sad thing, because I know it's a lot of powerful women that ain't looking for none of that.
Right.
So I'm saying for us strong men, understand what you dating. Quit giving it to a person that's not worthy. That's why I told you, I gave $1 and he wanted more. I'm not going no further. Understand your worth.
Right.
Quit giving stuff away when it ain't worth it.
Right.
It don't make no sense to me.
And just for the sake of just really diving into the subject, this is kind of what I want to get to. And Barbara really hit the nail on the head. She put together a list of common types of mind play games, mind games that people play. And what people often will do when they're playing games is they'll test your limits.
Oh, you test the waters all the time.
They'll ask you, perhaps they'll keep asking you for stuff. They'll they've already gotten something from you, and they'll keep asking. They're just really trying to see how far they can go, how nice you might be, how open you might be, and they're looking at your body language and your facial expressions. They're trying to see if they're getting on your nerves yet, or if that bothered you. Those people are really looking you in the face, testing your pulse. And as long as you say yes, they're going to continue to think that whatever strategy or tactic that they use to get you to say yes, that they can continue to use it, right? These are playing games. These are games that people play, especially in relationships. And
the exposure level.
Yeah, and sometimes testing your limits ain't necessarily about money. It's about what people can say to you, and what people can do to you. If somebody come in late and they ain't got no explanation, they ain't even tried to explain to you, they kind of starting to run game, right? Because they're giving you the runaround, but they don't know that they're very obvious when they walk in the house and don't confront the reason that they're so late coming in the house. It would be better for them to confront than to just try to run, because trying to run is just, again, testing your limits. And we have several other meaningful ideas. Let's see. Another one here is guilt tripping. Right? You ever had somebody try to guilt trip you into doing something for them?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. And
just like what you just said. Oh, you came home late last night, and my car ain't acting right, so you need to take my car to the shop. I mean, oh, wait a minute, hold it. Like, I ain't got nothing else to do. Should have thought about that when you didn't bring your behind home. Oh yeah, people play.
They play those games
on things that they know of what you do.
Yeah.
So again, game recognized game. Yeah. So guess what? When you know you did wrong, like I did, you take that dang old car to that shop. Okay, humble yourself.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say it make things all better. It's one less argument I had to listen to.
Yeah, guilt tripping. I need that one. How about a scenario where you're in a relationship, but it's a spouse.
Right.
And your spouse comes home every day at 5 o'clock.
Right.
And you get off at 6 o'clock. And so every day about 5:30, 5:45, you get a phone call. Can you stop by the store?
Oh, okay.
You can stop by the store. Now, they didn't have time to stop by the store.
But you can make time.
But they were like, well, since you're already out, why don't you just stop by the store, right? That's a little bit of that guilt tripping, right?
Oh, that's a
and I've been in a few scenarios where, I guess they just couldn't believe that they were seen or visible when they attempted this. But I'm like, how come you call me every day to stop at the store? Why don't you stop at the store and then we can get home at the same time, right? Rather than you be
done.
Yeah, right. And the food be done.
And the food be done.
Exactly.
You need some cash out? You need me to see, because obviously this is a plan. Because right now I can pay into that, okay? Because that means that's going to my belly.
Yeah.
That right there, that ain't pimping. That's just common sense.
Yeah.
If it's the fact you keep asking because you don't have it, I got you, girl.
Yeah.
What we need to do, because at that point, it become more adventurous. Because she ain't going to want to come home and cook either. She been at work just like I was. And if she feel like if you just send me the money, it'll make me feel better. If you can happily get your behind in that kitchen and throw a meal together to make me happy too, I got you, boo-boo. But what normally happens is a game on game. Not only do I want you to get the food, I don't feel, rub my feet, and you could cook that too. And if you do it, don't be mad at them. They just played you.
They played you, but I don't like those games like that.
No, that's when you don't rub your feet, don't cook.
I'm share alike, but you don't have to strong arm me or technique me into doing anything. You don't have to manipulate me into doing anything. I'll do just about anything with no qualms, and I'll do it over and over again. It's not like because you asked me the last 5 or 6 days, you can't ask me again. But I'm gonna also start to see that you have a lack of integrity in your requests.
Oh, yeah.
That what you're really doing is trying to set me up. You're really trying to put me together. And man, I didn't learn put me together until I was in my 30s. But people will put you together, right? you ever had somebody who they said so and so said what? They said what? I'm gonna call them right now. And they call them, and as soon as they call them, they put you on the phone.
Oh hell no!
Right?
Really?
Wait a minute! I wasn't trying to ruin my relationship with him. I needed you to.
I thought you was hard.
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna handle it.
Exactly.
Oh, you playing scared.
There you go.
She played you.
Playing a lot of these are mind games that I think ruin relationships big time. Because over expecting from people or manipulating people into getting what you want, they see it and they know it, and ultimately you're going to push them away from you. Ultimately, you're going to make them not want to do things for you or not want to help you. If you would have just came at me straight real, it'd have been no thing for me to help you. But because you come at me with a story or with a situation or with you running game, it makes me not want to help you, right? We're gonna have to take another break, and I like how this discussion is unfolding. I got some more of those common types of mind games that people play whenever we come right back. So y'all hold on. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this. There we back. Woo! All right.
You gotta make it happen, baby. You gotta make it happen.
Man, this conversation is ultimately, again, folks, for those of you who are just joining us for this segment, we're talking about who's pimping who. It seems like just about everybody is running game. And how do we deal with this? What we're in essence talking about is looking for people who are team players.
Correct.
Looking for or just assessing if you're in an environment where things are fair, where things are equal, where things are equitable for all parties. It's win, win, win. And one of the things that came up in my mind during the break was how many marriages happen because the bride, the wife, the girlfriend put pressure on the husband to marry her, right?
Dude.
And when it comes to that pressure about marriage, and I'm nowhere near the scenario right now, but I would imagine it could feel like somebody is positioning leverage on you, that if you don't do what they say do, that they're potentially going to leave or break up with you.
That sounds like stress.
Well, absolutely it's stressful, but it happens a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Right? We know of many scenarios where there was just pressure there, and after a while, the guy, the girl caved into the pressure, and they ended up getting married. And
how did that work out?
Well, statistics would tell us it didn't.
Okay.
Statistics tell us that
that ain't a good damn equation.
Half of them made it, and half of them didn't. And the half that made it, half of them unhappy, right?
Oh, they ain't happy?
They're not happy.
Oh, then, yeah.
Right?
So,
when someone applies pressure to you for any number of reasons, they are running game.
correct.
Right? And sometimes it's necessary. And, in the world of sales, it's kind of necessary, because people have to, we have to get people out of their own way. They've been looking for weeks for a car. They've been to several dealerships, and they come to our dealership, and we find the car that fits their scenario, and not all the cars do because they're too high price or they're too low a value or whatever. And so we have to say, hey, here's the two cars that you can have, and, the deal's on the table to the close of business today. And, we know they need a car. We know they'll keep running, but, got to apply a little pressure. And, to some degree it is running game, but you didn't come from all the way to the other side of the city, after we've set an appointment for a week. And you've been driving Uber the whole time and, taking the bus, that you don't need a car. And you need some pressure. You need a little game run on you so that you can get yourself out of the way. Because when you got bad credit, you can't buy what you want to buy. You have to buy what you can afford and what banks will allow you to buy. So sometimes, pimping can be of value. Putting pressure on people can be of value, but in most cases, it will create bad blood, and it'll create troubles.
Now get this where they can see it in a different way.
Okay.
When you really understand the game, you can pull more out of it than what somebody else can put into it. I met many people that can sell you a used shoe. They had their selling game on point. When I met you, you had your selling game on point. Again, you can sell a product, but I seen in you can make a dream. So I roll with you. Even though you were selling me a product for my job at the time you came to me, I heard words in you that I knew you could make a dream come true, not just by what you were selling. It's what I felt in you. Understand people, and then you can get more out of a person. You came to do something for me for a job that you did not know me. You knew the person that was there before me. So when you came to me, you gave me your presentation. What you didn't understand, you sold more than your product. You sold you.
Right.
I bought you that day.
Right.
Because I never bought a product from you. So I didn't help your pimp game at all. But I said, come to the studio, because that was back when I was doing the Jay and Shay show. And Crab rolled with me ever since. Please understand what a person is willing to have as a gift. Because again, I might not have bought into the products that he was selling. I bought into the person that he is.
Right.
Game recognized by understanding. If everybody went through something, it's called exposure. Game is no more than exposure. Because until you're exposed to it, you're going to run victim of it. And again, I've ran victim, and I have put myself in position where I made people victim. If that ain't what you want, walk away from that and understand you.
Yeah.
And that's why we'll get away from it. But to understand it, I promise you, it's exposure. Because there's a lot of things that's happening to me, like in a higher level that I wasn't used to. But I can go back from my past and realize it doesn't make sense. It should add up. It's an equation. But yet, people have their own narratives of what they want compared to what they want to give you. So they give me all the highlights. There's a lot of stuff that costs me so much that they ain't telling because it's game. They gonna capitalize on me if I don't do my homework to realize game happen when you don't understand the game. And I play it the way I want it.
Right. Listen, game happen when you don't understand the game. And it just come to me that we really probably need to give some examples of game playing that just might help you protect yourself. Because sometimes you got to protect yourself when people are running games.
I'm out.
And you ever had somebody to ask you this question, Jay?
Oh, Lord.
Why don't we take a trip?
Oh, hell.
Why don't we go out? Why don't we go out for dinner tomorrow night? Now, what are they really saying to you?
Jay, open your wallet. Open your wallet.
Right.
I'm gonna take a full advantage of you, but I'm gonna treat you good.
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna make you feel like Big Daddy.
Yeah. I call that suggestive selling.
Oh yeah, it was.
Right.
And it kind of worked too.
Kids do a lot of suggestive selling. You know, they might say,
really?
"Yeah, have you seen the new Nintendo out?"
I'll be like, "Yeah, I seen it in the store. You can take your behind right on over there and work for them."
Yeah, they got a new Nintendo out, right? And to much degree it works. But when you get grown, suggestive selling is seen very shallow, right? You seem like a child. You're asking like a child rather than just say, "Hey, this is what I want or this is what I need." You'll introduce an idea, hoping you'll throw the ball up, hoping I catch it, and you might throw it up in 2 or 3 different ways. That is running game. That is people trying to manipulate you to get what they want, and you can't be at bay to what other people want if they have, if they have intentions that aren't pure. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about how to manage impure intentions that are coming at you from all over the world. Somebody may say, "Hey, well, why don't you pick up dinner on the way over tonight?"
You're like, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the last time she cooked, it didn't taste good. So she tastes like wood.
Tastes like wood. Huh?
Wood. I'd be more than happy.
Yeah. Let me give you.
You look good. Can't cook. Whatever. Damn.
Let me give you an example, and this is an exercise I used to do in corporate America, where I'm teaching salespeople how to influence their customers. Because what we're really talking about is if somebody's running a game on you, what they're doing is they're playing you with words. They're playing you with they're promising something and hoping you'll bite the carrot, right? They're hoping that you'll go the direction they want them to go. They want you to go. And so there's a lot of conversations that we have where people are using slick ways, techniques of language in order to influence you. Mm-hmm. And let me just give you a thumbnail version of what I mean. Let's just say this side is no.
Okay.
Right?
Pineapple.
Let's say I'm going to use the car business, right, as an example, right? This side is no, and this side is yes. Okay. The yes side, when the customer walks in the door, the customer who's on the yes side are saying things like, "I bought my last car from here. I've done business with this place for many years. I've been driving by here for years. I live right down the street." What they're doing is they're telling you that, yeah, they're leaning toward doing business with you, right? But they're not at yes quite yet, okay? Mm-hmm. The customer who comes in and on the no side says, let's just say you sell Chevrolets, they come in and say, "I'd never buy a Chevrolet. Chevrolet, no, that ain't my kind of car. I only drive Toyotas and Hondas," and they're leaning toward the no side. Mm-hmm. So here's what happens in the equation. We're at yes, and the customer's swinging. This is a pendulum from left to right. Mm-hmm. The customer is swinging toward yes. Mm-hmm. So the customer is, let's say they're 75% on the way to yes. What a lot of salespeople do is they get between the customer and where the customer is and where they want the customer to go, right? Mm-hmm. So if the customer's saying, "Oh, yeah, I like this product, I like the color, I like the price," the salesperson might say, "Okay, give me the yes. Let's do business. Let's go ahead and do business." But if you say, let's do business, the customer's going to start swinging the other direction. You say, well, let's get signed up. Let's go ahead and get you signed up. And I say, no, well, I'm not quite ready. I need to talk to my sister or my cousin. And they're going to start swinging their way back to no. The reason why is because you've got between the prospect and where you want them to go.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Let's try it on the no side. The customer comes in and says, oh yeah, I don't like those Chevrolets. They don't get good gas mileage, et cetera, et cetera. The first thing I'm going to say to them is, I'm going to be more negative than them because I'm trying to get them to swing to yes, right? You'd probably never buy a Chevrolet, huh? Well, I wouldn't say never if the price was right or if they're on this model. Next thing you know, the customer starts swinging back toward the yes. Are you following my lead here?
Oh, I got you.
It's a process where you're managing the yes or no based upon how you get in front of or behind the customer. The key is to never get in front of your customer. Never get in front of your customer. You may say to the missus, baby, I'm thinking about going out to hang out with the fellas this Friday night. Just kind of thinking about that. And she would say, well, honey, I think you've been in the house for a long time, and if you'd rather be with them than hang out with me on Friday night, that's cool. He was like, honey, I'm not saying that, right? What she did was she stayed behind you. She made you switch directions by the way she positioned herself in the argument.
She pimped you, bro.
She set you up, right?
She set you up.
But that's what's happening in so many equations.
And
you get talked into doing something because leverage, right? You're getting manipulated into doing things or doing things for other people, perhaps. Because they're leveraging you just through the interaction of the conversation. They're making you feel a certain way. And so if I said, Jay, you know what? I think that you ought to let me be, the president of this company. That's what I think you ought to make me the president.
Okay.
You said, well now, Kraft, you're moving a little too fast.
No, look, you crazy as hell.
You crazy as
You
hell.
ain't saying that, but
that's
you
exactly
need to
right.
be. I'm like, what's the action? What's the action plan? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Why you want to be in that position?
If I come to you and I say, Jay, you know what? Here's 5 things, man, that really need to be done to make this company go.
Yeah.
And you say, well, you know what? I said, listen, I can do it, man, but I really, if you give me an opportunity to see presidency, I can make these things happen much easier. Now you're much more open to the equation.
You gave me a plan.
Right? I gave you a plan.
Give me a
and
plan.
am I pimping you?
Not at that point, no.
No, I'm making a good argument.
You make it
right?
I didn't think it was arguing because I ain't arguing back.
That's because I'm offering value.
That's right.
I'm offering value.
Total value is not an argument.
That's exactly right.
It is value in what you say.
And the most important part of the equation is I'm not pushing you.
No,
right?
I'm helping you.
I'm not applying pressure. And that's one of the things I always do with my customers. I hope you understood that pendulum.
Can I have my phone? I don't sell cars. I don't sell cars. But I pimp people.
What?
So when they come in there and you got the yes, because you got the hero thing going on. Let me open this up. You got that yes and you got that no. You come in there and yeah, I like Chevrolet. You be like, yeah, sure do I. Because I'm going to get on the side of you. So what you like about them Chevrolet? Boy, they've been holding up great for me.
That's the question.
They did great things for me as well.
What do you like about them?
What experiences, where did you go with yours? Because I want to know more about them.
Yeah.
If you get close to a person, it becomes personal. You can't win a person over and they don't know you. So don't let them sway. Hold them.
We're talking about
close to them.
Right.
The influence is knowing them. If I walk into an office and I'm interviewing, I look at what plaques and what they have, for I know what to talk about. Because they're going to talk to me about the job. I want to talk to them about them.
Right.
You got to understand sway. Sway and finesse is understanding you. I know me. I don't know you. I want to know who I'm dealing with. So they're always going to interrogate me. I get to have the fun interrogating you. You like to fish? Why you say that? See you over there, got a bass. Oh, you know about fishing. I know how to flip situations.
And what you
I know how to
yeah.
take over a conversation.
Absolutely.
Don't just let them control you.
Right.
That's half the problem.
That's half the
problem.
problem.
So again,
yes.
That person, I'll never buy a Chevrolet. What you like, a Ford? Yeah, I love me a Ford. Driver returns on foot. That ever happened to you? Oh, you heard that on frame too. But see, now we're having a dialogue. How they are, get to their personal side. People get personal. I promise you. If you're going to sell something, know a person. Because I'm going to buy from a person I trust. I can't just buy from a person I feel is just getting over.
Yeah, and the thing to note in what you were saying is the person asking the question is in control.
Mm-hmm. Take the control away, but know the person.
The person who's asking the question is in control. And if you're asking good questions, then you'll maintain that control, right? And you'll win over.
I want somebody that's going to rock my world. I'll be like, I need to know what your world consists of.
What are you talking about,
Oh,
man?
my bad. I was just trying to make a sale. I mean, you know, people come at you different ways. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying. I be wanting to rock world, but I want to know what your world consists of. You know, everything ain't worth rocking. Something you got to let go.
Listen, we're going to go ahead and take
Pivot, right?
We're going to take our final break.
Oh,
and we're just talking about influencing people.
That's what we're talking about.
And there are a lot of people who are being influenced by people who have ill intention. Oh, yeah. They don't want the best for you. They want to leave you less than at the end of the transaction.
I want your back broke.
And so I wanted you to begin thinking about how you can start to protect yourself from those people who are running game. And again, Barb put together a great list of how to deal with people that play games, right? We just talked about common types of mind games. Let's talk about how to deal with those people as we close out our last segment. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after.
Sorry, you know I go off on my little tangents. This is just what I do, but one of the things I want to tell you is, as I go off, I'm trying to make sure I lure you to understand everybody looks at things differently. I don't know exactly where you at. I want to grab you and hold you because bottom line is I want you to see there's different ways to look at a problem and an issue. It's not about how to fix it by me. It's about understanding you and using the equation of yours, not necessarily somebody else's, because I really feel like failure happens when you don't believe in yourself. And Bar Talk with Jay is about self-help, and that's why we got the mental side of Craftmatic to get the steps of healing. That's right. So Craft.
Yeah, you know, what I'm trying to get to in this subject, again, folks, we're talking about who's pimping who. It seems like just about everybody is running game. And how do we deal with game coming at us? How do we deal with people who are being a little slight-handed? They're not telling you the whole story. They're wanting to charge you more. They're wanting to talk you into doing what they want you to do, rather than just asking straightforward. How do you deal with it? And one of the first things that come to mind, and Barb has it on the list here, is call the person out on their behavior.
Oh, Lord. Now, that can be good and bad.
That can be good and bad.
Yeah.
But if you recognize somebody who's running game, it's important that you make a stance right away that I don't believe you, I don't think you're telling me something truthful, you know, and you may come back with a hard question. You may ask them to prove it, or you may ask them to give you a second quote, or you may ask them to, really, if somebody's running that interpersonal game, you got to be like, hey, you trying to sell me on doing something for you? Why don't you just ask me straightforward? Have you ever had to address somebody, Jay? Check somebody, so to speak?
Day long.
Yeah.
And my check is real simple. Man, I'm going to do this for this, and it's way high. And I said, I'll tell you right now, you can do it for what you said, but you ain't going to be doing it for me. Or you can understand, I already know what the common price is. And if you get close to Lancey Street, because I don't know where you think you going, because I promise you, people ask for more, because if they don't ask, they'll never achieve. That don't always work when your work don't even achieve what you asking for. I ain't even like the work you did before. I came to you because you're convenient. Now you're conveniently making me go somewhere else. That's what happens when you keep pushing yourself, thinking you can, by asking, but not doing. I promise you, your work ethics is everything. Don't keep asking for more, and you ain't willing to do more, thinking this is the way. That's what somebody taught you, and it's a stupid-ass way. I don't like that. Know your ethics. Know your work. Your work will show. My whole thing is, I know I need somebody to make sure my stuff stay compliant. You ain't willing to do that, then don't do no work for me. The dollars don't make sense to me. I'm wasting it. I gotta pay somebody else to do what you couldn't complete.
Right.
I don't feel good now. Now I have an ill feel for you. I don't want that. I understand if you wasn't able to complete a job. I understand. Get that. Don't keep playing with me and you think I got a nest egg.
Yeah.
Because that's what they look at. They look at the fact that you have it. They want it, but they ain't willing to work for it. That's when you know game is being played.
Yeah.
And that's when you address it by stop playing.
And so here's a question. If you have somebody who's always playing games, running game, trying to get stuff from you or get you to do certain stuff, another great quote here that Barb made is, don't try to change them.
Never did.
Right? That's good, Barb.
I want to change.
Don't try to change them. What you do is you just operate knowing that they're a game player. And, with whatever they're asking for, you're already ready, pretty much ready to say no. If they come in, trying to run the same old game.
You already know it. Oh, my car just broke down again. Yeah, you mean
Right.
from that last time I gave you that
what?
$200 that you never paid me back? You know something? I meant to get that back to you. But, if you help me this time, what's going to happen is I can pay you back double.
Don't you
remember, double is the double of what you paid out last time and this time with no interest or anything more, because I don't want to do no more for you. I just want more for me.
Don't you just love it when people...
Because I got money to pay for mine. I just don't want to pay my money. I want to use your money. I'm just saying, game recognized game.
Don't you just love it when people tell you about their problems?
They do it because they want to see if you're going to give them some sympathy and empathy.
They want to see if you're going to fix it. They want to see if you're going to help out.
I tell my problems.
Right?
They tell me their problems. I tell mine. They be like, oh, you'll never guess what happened. I had a truck breakdown, cost me $5,000. Yeah, mine only cost $2,000. I'd be like, man, I'd love to get my $5,000 back. They'd be like, so I guess you can't help me. I'd be like, well, nope.
Yeah.
Game recognized game.
Yeah.
Man, it'd be nice if you can do this for me. I'd be like, man, when the last time you did something for me? Why you got to bring that up? Game recognized game. That's up to you. I will play with you if you want to play with me. But my whole thing is a waste of conversation. Everything happened to everybody. I don't understand because half the stuff happened to me. I don't tell nobody. When I go through something, I have a bad breakdown, I don't got no trucks. I only tell the people that's close to me that's not looking to do anything no more than to listen to me. I'm going to figure my own problems out. I don't need you to sit here and figure my problems out. I don't even like people that think that they can do that for me.
Who have that as an attitude. A lot of people will think that, again, if they just mention their problem, if they say it around you, you'll be inclined to help them with it. And that is running game. It would be different if they said, hey, I need to ask for your help. I need to share a situation with you and see if maybe you can help me. Well, but rather than doing that, they'll pole mouth you. They'll act like they they're down. They're sad. They're pouting. You can see them pouting a little bit about something. And you say, "What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" Well, I got and then they want to start telling you the problem, right? And they're looking for sympathy. They're looking for empathy. But even more so than that, they're looking to see if you're gonna help them. Yeah. And there's some people who cry well. They know how to manufacture tears.
They keep on.
And right? But
they still got flash screen. You ain't got a booty back.
This discussion, I'm hoping the relevance of this discussion is that people will become more aware when somebody is trying to be manipulative to them. When somebody's trying to take advantage of them, when somebody's trying to put them in a less than position. Because it's happening all the time. Your boss does it all the time. Your spouse does it to you all the time. People are being taken for granted. Oh, well, you let me hold it last time. I thought maybe I could borrow it this time. I just went in there in the garage and got it. No, they just run a game. And if you don't become aware of the game players in your life, they're going to continue to take advantage of you. They're going to continue to use you. They're going to continue to, be kind of leeches in your world, so to speak. So one of the things that Barb said is you have to set strong personal boundaries. Okay, and I think one of those boundaries is like a tripwire. When you see somebody running game, check them. Hey, I wasn't born yesterday. All right? I've been doing business as long as you, right? Here's what you said, and here's what happened, and can you help me fix it? But don't try to run game on me. Don't try to act like I don't know. Don't try to act like you can tell me a simple lie and treat me like like I'm an ignorant, just little prospect on the street. I am the client. I am the wife. I am your friend. I am the worker. I am the associate. Come straight with me so that we can do business right, so that I can know what to really expect. And we know that the games are increasing. The game world, running game, is increasing. More people have got more shiesty ways to get stuff from you and to get you to do what they want to do than ever before. There is the world is just rampant with it, and so we've got to be stronger in order to defend off these wolves sometimes, and we've got to be more resolved, I think, to I don't know, not only just to check it, but we got to stand up for ourselves.
Okay.
Again, there are people working in jobs knowing that they're being taken advantage of, knowing that they're being put in safety issues, knowing that they're not being paid the same amount that all the rest of the guys are being paid around town. You've got to learn to stand up for yourself, and that's what I was hoping would come out of this Who's Pimping Who, because again, you don't have to pimp somebody to not get pimped. Right? We said earlier that either you're pimping or you're getting pimped.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that you become aware, discern whether somebody's got pure intentions. Those who have pure intentions, they probably can get anything you have. I walked into a convenience store, walking into the door of a convenience store, and there was a guy there, looked like he needed some help. And he said, "Hey, buddy, can you help me?" And the first tape that played through my mind is, man, you guys are everywhere, always asking for money, right? And so my frustration kicked in, and I was like, he probably gonna go down the street and buy some liquor, he owns drugs or something, he ain't gonna do right with it.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm pouring my coffee in the convenience store, the Lord's just convicting me. Right? He's just like, damn well you got the money in your pocket. You need to go out there and help that man, da-da-da-da-da-da. And so even though the man might have been running game, I had to relieve him of his intentions, and I had to determine my own set of intentions for the scenario. And even though he might have felt like he got over on me, maybe he made me feel like I needed to help him, or he showed me a sad face, or whatever the case may be, when I came back to help him, I overcame his perhaps impure intentions. The guy looked like he needed help. There weren't impure intentions. He needed help. But when I gave him the money and walked away, the very first thing he said was, "Now see, the Lord told me to stand right here." That's the first words he said. "The Lord told me to stand right here." So if I would have had my mind focus on everybody's trying to take from me and run game and pimp from me, I would have missed out on my opportunity to help that man. And who knows what that $20 bill did for that man that night. And so, sometimes people are running games and we have to overlook it because of such sensitive issues. But, if I had a little more time with him, I would have sat there and prayed with him, and I would have sat there and asked him, "Hey, where you sleeping at? What you doing? And can you go to a house?" And I would talk him into doing something better with his life, rather than just trying to get over on me. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah, rather than just trying to get over on me. So,
Because me, I'm a whole lot different.
yeah.
My story a little different. I'm a little special. Just tell it to you like this. I meet different people all the time. One of the things I'll tell you, how you come at me will not be the all-determining factor of what I do. It's how I feel. I want to make sure I give you a seed. No matter what money I give, make sure you give encouragement. Most encouragement ain't in money. It's in letting them know no matter what you're going through, he has something better for you. One of the things that we tend to forget is we feel like the money is the aid. No, the aid is the power, understanding we all been through some things. And when his hand, this money is not what he's just giving. It's the fact that I am. We ain't giving up on you. We're not. We cannot give up on our fellow man.
Yeah,
but we do not need to just give not understanding of what we do. No. Please give encouragement. It's the words. It's not just the money. You need to know you're still powerful. Just because you down and out. One of the things I tell you when I'm stressed out, I like to hear words of encouragement compared to, well, how much you need. Money is half of our problem. It is the understanding of what you do. It's going to cause you to continue to do the same stuff you've been doing. Conditional habits is what plagues us all the time. I always try to encourage people to understand yourself before you ever think you can control somebody else. Because game recognizing game, half the person that's calling themselves throwing game have no control of where they really going. They just don't want you to go where you're going. And you recognizing that, it stops game from happening. So understand you. Because one of the strongest things I'll tell you real quickly about stopping game is knowing self. Because it's harder for you to play me when I understand where I'm going compared to what the hell you selling me.
Yeah, and let us close out with this. Question is, who's pimping who? Seems like just about everybody is running game, and how do we deal with this? Be willing to stand up for yourself. That's the name of the game. And get your homework done. Nobody can run over you when you know as much or more than they do. You shouldn't let people take advantage of your emotions. Call them out, check them. But just because you have to check them don't mean you don't want to help them and don't want to support their efforts. Running game is not the way to go. If you need something, go straight to eye-to-eye contact. Go straight to the handshake. Go straight to the communication. Don't play games and tell stories and tell lies. It just pushes people away from you, and it ruins your opportunities for other people to help you get your problems solved. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. This has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy
Smooth Jay.
And this is Barb in the building. We got a great team that's always here each week, ready to give you some powerful dialogue. And we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. We're here Thursdays, every Thursday, 7 to 9, Facebook Live. And please share it, like us, subscribe, and get the word out about the positivity that we bring. And with that, folks,
we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.